Hey, this is Nate with Z-Bros, and today we're going to go over the installation of our rear bumper for the Ski-Doo Gen 4 in a non-expert tunnel. So this is the standard length tunnel. This happens to be a 165, but we make the bumper for the non-expert in the 150 length as well. So the process will be the same for that. So we'll jump into the basics of this, let you know what hand tools you're going to need, and this is something you can do in your garage as long as you have the right hand tools. And on those applications like the XP1000,
we supply a divider that's cut down.
billet nut. Another Honda Talon. This happens to be a 1000R. All right, so the basic tools that you're going to need is some kind of a rivet gun for the 3/16 style rivets that we're using. A drill with a 3/16 drill bit, and a 1-inch end wrench. And this is just to use on your billet nut, and that's actually the very last step of the process. So we have our kit kind of laid out here with our rear billet grab bar, and then we're doing a red bumper. The bumpers come in multiple colors. And other than these basic tools, the only other tool you'll need will be a T30 Torx to remove your factory bumper. There's 12 of these T30 Torx bolts that need to be taken out from the inside of the tunnel in order to take off your stock or factory bumper. So it's pretty easy to access from the back side of the tunnel with your Torx, and you just take all 12 of these out, and then this bumper will lift off. And we're going to reuse a lot of these locations to line up and set up the installation of the new Z-Bros bumper. Okay, so now that we have the stock bumper off and removed and out of our way, you're going to get your left or right panel depending on which side you're going to start on. This is the left side. All right, and so to begin, you're going to want the shorter of the two rivets and backer washers. Every rivet is going to have a backer washer. The forward locations are going to use the shorter rivets, and then when we get back to where the gusset portion that holds the grab handle, that's where the longer rivets are used. So back on these 4 hole locations is where the longer rivets are going to be used. Everywhere else forward is going to be the short rivet with the large backer washer. Okay, to start, you want to get 2 of these hole locations lined up with the short rivets. And if you can line up all 3 like I have here. And then we want to put just a single one in here in the middle so that we can shift to the back after this and line up those rear holes. So I'm just going to put this middle one in. And I actually just started that, but so that the bumper's still somewhat loose. That way we can put this rear section on and make sure that these 4 holes line up with the longer rivets. Okay, so now with the longer rivets, we're going to put these rear 2 locations in so that they go through the factory holes. And with backer washers again on every rivet, we're going to put these 2 in. All right, so now that we have those, we had all of those factory holes lined up with rivets in them, you can go back through and using a backer washer and the correct length rivet, tighten down those that are available, and then we're going to get our drill and drill out the new holes next. All right, so we're utilizing these factory hole locations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the rest of these need to be drilled out with your 3/16 drill bit. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7 on each side that have to be drilled out to 3/16. And I should note this very forward one, these 2 are going through 3 pieces of material. So just pay attention when you're drilling that. It takes a little bit longer. The rest of these are just through the tunnel. All right, so I'm going to start at the back, and now that we have our holes drilled out, again back here on the bumper mounting portion where it's 3 pieces of material thick, you need the long rivet. with a backer washer. And then we're just going to work our way forward and repeat the process on the other side before we install the billet grab handle. Forward of this rear bracket is going to be the short rivets, and just these back 4 are the long rivets. All right, so now that you have both side panels and mount plates all riveted on, this is where you're going to need your billet nuts and your cross tube. So I like to just get it started a little bit by hand on the one side and start the other side by hand. And there's going to be a gap, but it'll pull itself into place as you tighten it. So you can tighten one side by hand and then use your 1-inch wrench to spin the nut on the other side in. You can use a crescent wrench, but a 1-inch wrench is a little bit easier if you have one of those in your toolbox. And just snug them up and you're done. So that's all it takes to install the Gen 4 regular tunnel length bumper with hand tools in your garage. All right, so here we have our Ski-Doo Gen 4 165 standard length tunnel bumper installed. Some of the reasons why you want to get rid of your stock one and go to this is obviously tunnel strengthening. So we have the plate coming down the side and then also rolled edge to give us rigidity from side to side, not just from impacting the bottom of the tunnel. The other thing that we've done with our grab bar location, if you can see this, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you line up the factory bumper over top of this as far as where it would mount, we've moved the bumper location forward so that even if you don't have an expert or a cut tunnel or anything like that, you're gaining a little bit of, losing a little bit of tunnel length in a sense, because this isn't sticking out and going to be catching on stuff as you're wheeling and working on all the fancy maneuvers that the cool kids do. So that's another cool feature, and obviously a lot stronger, that's just going to support the whole tunnel and come available in different colors and look a lot better. So check out all these bumpers. They're going to be available in a couple of different colors, red, black, white. They're available at your local Zebros Racing dealer, or as always at zebrosracing.com. Thanks for watching.